Okay, so it's going to be essential for us to be able to do what we did in the last playlist with JavaScript, because then we have the benefits of a full-fledged programming language at our disposal. In other words, what we want to be able to do is we want to add the SVG elements with JavaScript, and we're going to use the D3 library to help us with that. But before we do that, I want to explain what I call a block of code in observable notebooks. So when we started out these lessons, I did something easy like this, just storing a number in a variable. Easy. But there's a longer way that you can do this. So let's take a look at that, because it will be useful as we move on to use what I call, again, these blocks of code. So let's delete this. We'll add a blank cell again, and we'll add a block of code. It's just going to be an empty set of curly braces. You can give yourself some room to type, and you're going to put your code in there. So I think of this as like going into a different coding environment. It's like you're going outside of the notebook, and you're going into a JavaScript environment here. And so it's a strict environment, so you're going to get an error like this because you have to declare any variables that you create. So the first time you're using a variable, you have to declare it as such. The old way to do that is to just put var in front of any variable that you were creating for variable. But the new way to do that is to either make it a constant if it's never really going to change, or you can use the word let if it will be something that you're going to change later. So we'll just use constant for a while until we have to use let. So I won't get an error, but usually what you want to do is you want to give something back to the notebook. So you can do that using return. And so I could return X. That means the value 7 will go back to the notebook. But you can't really use it, though, because it doesn't have a name. So I couldn't reference it in another cell. So I could give this a name like this. And now anytime I use V in other cells, V would be 7. However, I could use X as well. The X here will not conflict with the X here because this is inside a block of code like this. All right. So that's usually the way I like to do things. And so we'll see how important this is even in the next video.